I've never seen or felt anything like it. It was the scariest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. I was home alone for about a week. My parents had gone away visiting my brother in another city, and they would be back in 3 days. I was watching TV one night when I heard a knock on the door. I ignored it, assuming it was just my neighbor. But then I started hearing what sounded like footsteps near my bedroom window. I assumed that whoever was outside was trying to get in, so I grabbed my phone and called the police. I waited on the line with them for about 5 minutes until I heard someone trying to break into my house through the front door. They were getting in. I hung up the phone and ran into the bathroom to hide. I was scared and alone and didn't know what to do. The only other place I could think to hide was under my bed, but the doorknob was already turning. I hid under my bed with my phone and blanket, hoping whoever this was would leave me alone if they couldn't find me. Then I heard the front door open and footsteps coming towards my room. Footsteps stopped outside my door, and I heard the person trying to turn the doorknob. It didn't open. I think the deadbolt was still on. I heard them try the door again and again and again. And each time it made a horrible grinding noise that made me cringe. Whoever this was, they weren't giving up. After about 10 minutes, I heard the person finally give up and walk away. I stayed under my bed for a few more minutes until I heard the footsteps go further down the hallway and then outside. Once I knew whoever was outside was really gone, I got out from under my bed, turned on all of my bedroom lights, and walked to the front door. I opened it to see what the damage was, and it was fine. No signs of forced entry anywhere. The front door, windows, and garage door were all locked. Everything looked okay from the outside, but I could have sworn I saw a shadow figure running away from my house. I told myself it was just my imagination and went back inside to watch some TV. A couple hours later, I needed to use the bathroom, so I walked in to take a shower. As I was washing my hands, I looked out the window and noticed what looked like the exact same shadow figure from before standing outside. It was wearing a hoodie and a mask and was staring directly at me. I immediately screamed and ran out of the bathroom to grab my phone. I wanted to call my friend, but when I turned around, I couldn't see the shadow man anymore. I decided it was probably best not to call the cops again since they wouldn't believe me. So I just went back to watching TV. About an hour after that, I was lying in my bed trying to watch TV, but I couldn't help but constantly glancing out of my window. I kept seeing the shadow man standing there. At this point, I was extremely scared and didn't want to be alone anymore. So I called my friend. She picked up and I explained everything to her. I could hear her laughing in the background and she told me to stop playing. I told her I wasn't and that I was actually scared. Finally, she agreed to come over. When she arrived, we both went to my window and looked outside. We couldn't see anyone. I guess we were both relieved until we heard a knock on the door. We both jumped, and my friend said maybe I should just call my parents and have them come home early. But I insisted that I was fine and that I didn't need any help. I told her I was just gonna stay in the living room with the lights on and she could go home. She obviously didn't want to leave me alone, but eventually she gave in and left. As soon as she left, I heard footsteps outside my window again. This time, I didn't even bother checking. I just sat there in the dark, waiting for whoever was out there to try and get in. I waited and waited, but nothing happened. I ended up falling asleep on the couch. The next morning, I woke up on the couch and figured I should finally check the security cameras. I checked the front door camera and saw that during the night, someone had tried to break in multiple times. The front door and garage door were locked, but the side door was unlocked because I had propped it open to hang up some laundry. I went to check the door to see if anything was missing. I don't even remember what I was looking for because at this point I was so paranoid. But thankfully, nothing was stolen. I guess it was a false alarm. I was about to go back inside when I noticed something strange. I saw a pair of black shoes sitting on my welcome mat. I never owned a pair of black shoes, and the shoes I wore to bed last night were in my closet. I bent down to pick the shoes up, and as I did, I noticed they were wet. They had obviously been outside in the rain. I tried to remember if I had seen these shoes before, but I'm pretty sure I would have remembered. I don't remember taking a good look at them though. All I remember is freaking out, throwing them back onto the mat and running inside to lock the door. I told myself it was silly to be scared. There was a perfectly reasonable explanation for everything. But as I was making breakfast, I noticed something else strange. My cupboards were all clean. I hadn't cleaned them last night. In fact, I don't think I'd ever cleaned them. I don't know why I found this so strange, but I did. So I threw on some clothes and went to run some errands to try and get my mind off of things. When I returned home, I noticed more things that seemed out of place. My couch cushions were flipped over. My coffee table was overturned. Things were all over the floor. My house was trashed. And then I saw them. My front door was wide open. I don't know where they went or where they came from, but they were gone.